Welcome to another episode of You Left Shit Out. I'm going to try to look at the right camera this time. So let's move this over. Welcome to another episode. I think this is our, first week. So this is Friday, our fifth episode of You Left Shit Out. If I can get the banner up here. Hang on a second here. There we go. Alrighty. So as always, before we get into the topics, welcome our Rockfin users. This is our fifth episode live stream on Rockfin, finally on here. So welcome everybody on Rockfin that's watching. Subscribe. We're trying to hit 15,000 subscribers. So please, if you've been watching the content, you like the content, tell your friends, other people you may think or believe may benefit from these conversations. Ask them to subscribe, share the videos, like this video, like the stream. Thank you. And Patreon, if you want to support the Revolutionary Blackout Network, Patreon, Revolutionary Blackout, just look us up. You could donate different tiers of membership. And below, you'll see scrolling at the bottom, mutual aid if you would like to donate to my mutual aid fund. So there you go. All right, so let's get into a couple of things I wanted to cover today. The Barack Obama, I guess yesterday, Thursday, was meeting virtually, a virtual meeting, Zoom meeting with Democrats. And he told them, anyway, we'll get into what he told them. And he was the featured speaker, of course. And then there's also a poll. Many polls are out. CNN poll that was just out, and they actually reported on it, a full segment. And it's pretty bad for Joe Biden. So we'll cover that. And then I finally had a chance to to cut out sections of hang on a second here. Sections of my debate actually with Hector Osegare. I think that's how you say it. Hopefully that's how you say it. Let me find the video I'm looking for. Hang on a second here. Okay. So, I cut out some sections of his video or his that debate. We'll discuss, which is essentially, what did I click? Oh, that is the video. I don't need to put it in yet. But anyway, that's the debate video that we will discuss. It has to do with the OLEF and the upcoming event that Marianne Williamson will be having next week on the 16th, which is Wednesday. I think we're gonna. Well, I normally have my show on Wednesday, but we'll probably have a special stream that that starts right before, and maybe we'll have a watch party and critique here. I was talking to Rome earlier this morning about that, so he's excited. He's the one who had the idea, who wants to do this. So maybe we will do this. So yeah, I think that is it. So let's actually start with the lighter story, the shorter story, the Obama story, and then the debate we'll cover, because that's the longer of the discussion here. I gotta share my screen first. Let's do that. So share screen. Right here. So out in the news, I actually saw the story initially on Andrea Mitchell, I think, a clip where she mentioned it. So Obama tells Democrats to keep the focus on their wins. And there he goes, the one that we all love, Barack Obama there. Let's read a little bit of the story. Former President Obama exhorted House Democrats to celebrate their accomplishments on the campaign trail so the upcoming campaign for the midterms, celebrate their accomplishments on the campaign trail rather than dwell on the setbacks they're faced as they try to defend their slim majority in the midterm elections this year. Of course, they're going to lose handily. Um, Obama, the featured keynote speaker during the caucus virtual meeting summit Thursday, told lawmakers to take the wins you can get, and it doesn't help to whine about the stuff you can't change, according to two sources familiar with the conversation. That basically means people came out, they wanted this to come out of that meeting, and they told the people. This is not any sort of news reporting. Somebody comes out and tell you, hey, put this in your paper. Come on. He argued that they have a more compelling message in selling what their legislative successes mean to voters rather than campaigning from a defensive crouch, one source said. Now, so this is the whole, we've done good things, you just don't know about those good things. Okay? So I'm being affected by these good things, but yet I have no idea that they're occurring. That's what the Democrats, and it sounds like Obama is trying to get us to believe, which is absurd. So let's check these comments before I move forward here. Make sure I'm not missing any here. Yes. Okay. Barack Obama is always a lightning rod for conversations, for comments. So go at it. So anyway, so back to the article. So like I said, he was a featured speaker, and he's saying, don't whine about how terrible Joe Biden. Don't whine about the, people being upset about the mask mandates and about the trucker convoy stirring up trouble, and people in Democratic governors switching course and lifting mask mandates statewide versus what they're been trying to push. So don't whine about that. Talk about all the accomplishments. That seems like a shorter conversation to have. If you have to convince people that they should be happy for all the accomplishments you did to affect their lives, wherein lies the problem there? This guy, I think he's gonna be the next Hillary Clinton, or maybe they'll do this in tandem. You know how she's out of public life, but she keeps somehow coming back with a podcast and a book, and now she's being named to Lifetime Achievement Award in March for Women's Month in March. Can you believe that? But of course, it's being given out by Forbes magazine. I mean, who else would give a warmongering oligarch this award as a Lifetime Achievement Award? It's completely absurd. So yeah, a couple of comments. Let's get some. Yeah. Don't whine, vote. That's what Obama is saying. Don't whine, vote. Did I do a good Obama voice? Don't whine, vote. Trying to do his voice. Maybe I did a good job. Maybe I didn't. What's up, Dana? Love seeing CJ rage at the news. What's up, Nick? Absolutely. This is what I do. What's up, CJ? Salute to all your streams this week. You killing them softly, meaning the boutique left. Salute. I'm reading the word boutique left. I'm not using it myself as a slur because Case Study QB, shout out to Case Study, or Case told me that that's a slur. So, good afternoon, CJ and everyone. Thank you for being in the building, everyone. Obama, class warrior, achieving major wins for his class, the 1%. That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. So I think I'm going to move on from this story here. and slide right into the next story because I'm anxious to get to that story, which is hang on, let me move this out. Which is Joe Biden is doing worse. It's still doing worse. Even after this failed attempt of creating a war to change his numbers, he's still doing terrible. I mean, this poll was taken, I think this poll by CNN was taken all the way up until February 6th. Yeah, let me share the screen. I'll show you the poll first. Share the screen. Oh, wrong one. It's the other one. So let's remove this one. And here we go. What has Biden done that you approve of? Like, this is a pretty, for somebody just to pick something, I approve of him using the word wise guy all the time. I approve of him saying, I'm a guy from Scranton. Like, you could pick anything in this poll. And this is what they picked. Actually, let's put the graphic up here. CNN, I think John King's show, this was on yesterday, the 10th. Yeah, yesterday was the 10th. So this is CNN. Okay. 56% answer the question, nothing, or disapprove on all. 56%. That means there's Democrats in there. Democrats who voted for him and a lot of independents who voted for him in that bucket there. Because if you get all Democrats and all Republicans, he'll at least get 50, 49%, something like that. 56 disapproval. Once you cross over that 49, 50% mark, that means you're bleeding into other areas of your own people. 15% said the economy. 6% said COVID. That's the whole reason why he was elected, was for COVID, or one of the reasons. One of two, because of COVID. I'm going to take care of COVID. There's more deaths under COVID, and he has the vaccination. Personal traits. People don't even like him. They don't even approve of his personal traits of him being the cool guy, the guy from Scranton. Foreign policy 4% and other issues 2%. Like, this is terrible. Terrible. Let's close that one so I don't make that mistake again. So let's go out of this one and then, let's go to the video. So let's play the video of them actually going through those numbers. This is John. I think his name is John King. Yeah. Let me make this bigger.
For the president, only 4 in 10 Americans, 41% at the moment.
I'm going to rewind this and start this over. So let's do that. So let's play this video. I'm going to take this banner down so you can see what the ticker says there on their thing. One, they never include the low number poll. I think it was Quinnipiac. He got like 33%, 32%. They never include that when they're talking. But listen, I was very, very surprised they put this clip on YouTube. I saw it. So what I do for prepare for this show to look to find out what mainstream media is talking about, I literally go through and just fast forward to check which story. So every time I see a different story they're talking about, I'll listen, then I'll fast forward to the next. I'm clearly fast forwarding through a lot of material because they're only talking about January 6th and I'm not covering it. But so that's where I found it. But to find this same clip they put on YouTube, and it's gotten over 100,000 views already. So let's listen to a clip of it, or a snippet of this clip here. Where do I hit play? Oh, let's do that again and unmute it. And there we go.
Here, do you approve of President Biden's job performance? Well, look at how bad these numbers are for the president. Only 4 in 10 Americans, 41% at the moment, approve of his job performance. Nearly 6 in 10, 58% disapprove. That's a tough.
Later in this video, they're going to break these numbers down into who is strongly disapproving and who is moderately. So they're going to break this down, and you'll be shocked also.
Tough number early in a midterm election year for the president of the United States. Now, why is this happening? This is fascinating. We asked people, what has President Biden done for you that you approve of? 56% of Americans, nearly 6 in 10 Americans. That means a decent amount of Democrats said nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened. Now, yes, the president would say, we passed the rescue plan. We passed the bipartisan infrastructure plan. It is not sinking in out in America. 50.
So you see what he's trying to propagate. And they do this all the time with Joe Biden polls. The person reading the poll, give excuses. It's never Joe Biden. If you listen to what he said, what he's doing is not sinking in. That's what they're saying.
56% of Americans say nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened so far. 15% say the president has helped with the economy. 6% say the coronavirus. You see here personal traits, foreign policy, other issues. But that is a stunning number of the failure to communicate the legitimate successes of the Biden administration.
I mean, he explicitly says it right there. It's a failure to communicate his legitimate successes. Not that you think the legislation he's passed is not a success, is that he hasn't communicated to you. You just don't get it.
Administration. And without a doubt, the COVID pandemic is dragging the president down. His standing on COVID is underwater. Why? Look at this. 75% of Americans say they are burned out. 60% say they are angry. 58% say they are worried. Half, 49% say they're confused. 47% do say they're optimistic. So as the numbers come down, maybe the president can turn this dynamic. But right now, you just have a burned out, angry country. It's hard for the president to break through, even if through. But right now, you just
all these numbers are a reflection of what leadership is doing. Why would we be angry about the pandemic unless things aren't going well? Why wouldn't things be going well? What entity is responsible for things going well? Worried. Why would we be worried? Because things aren't going well. Confused because the messaging is ridiculous. The CDC does whatever Delta tells them to do, apparently, and then the poor, CDC director who comes out and is the face of all of this madness, she's having to be the face of the flip-flopping, and then Dr. Fauci, don't even talk about him. He's a clown. So, I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect? I don't understand. Anyway, let's see if we can finish this clip.
Just have a burned out, angry country. It's hard for the president to break through, even if things are getting better. And to the inflation and the economy, just look at the line here. The president's approval rating on the economy was 49% back in March. It is down 12 points to 37%. Disapproval on the economy, 44% in March, 62%. That is the toll of inflation right there. The unemployment rate is down. The president did create a record number of jobs.
There he goes, making excuses. I'm telling you, if you watch corporate media, when they're reading polls about Joe Biden in particular, they insert why the poll is that way instead of the poll being that way because it's an accurate depiction of the person it's polling about. It's never that. So I'm going to just rewind it just a second or a couple of seconds so you can hear that.
62%. That is the toll of inflation right there. The unemployment rate is down. The president did create a record number of jobs.
Oh, God. So let's talk about what he says. I thought I rewinded enough.
62%. That is the toll of inflation right there. The unemployment rate.
Oh, right there. That's the part. That's the part I missed. I knew there was another reason. So let me go back even further. So inflation.
49% back in March. It is down 12 points to 37%. Disapproval on the economy, 44% in March, 62%. That is the toll of inflation right there. The unemployment rate is down. The president did create a record number of jobs.
So that number is because of inflation. Because look what Joe Biden did, created a record number of jobs. Both corporate parties say this. Record number. How are you creating record number of jobs I hear this every year, record number of jobs. And how are you taking credit for a record number of jobs created when we started in the hole? You start in the hole minus millions of jobs. You regain those jobs, and now you want to tout that as a record number of jobs, as if you increase the amount of jobs. But then liberals will go on Twitter, he created a record number of jobs. Look. Low unemployment rate. Don't even start talking about how they calculate unemployment is a joke. At a certain point, they stop counting people. You're still looking for a job after this point? Okay, that's long-term looking. We're just going to stop counting you. All the tricks they do to come up with that fake number.
62% of Americans disapprove of the president's handling of the economy because they are paying more at the grocery store and at the pump every day.
Yeah, how about you say you're complicit with being quiet about the fact that most of the increase in prices are not because of inflation, because your profits don't go up. Your prices, if inflation is hitting you, if you're really dealing with inflation, so your cost of doing business goes up. How is your profits going up if it's costing you more to do business? That means you're increasing your prices above and beyond what it would take to cover inflation. How about you say something like that? At least the people would be like on your side. Come out and say, hey, corporations, how are you making profits in this inflation? Say something like that. Anyway, so yeah, that's the video of I have a couple of things up to share. I'm gonna make sure I take out the right one. So anyway, so yeah, that again, I was astonished that they actually had, played this. But think about that. 56% say he has done nothing. I'm loving how, and let me put this up here. I'm loving how after the pandemic, people are just they're not doing the nicety responses to these polls. They're not doing the, oh, well, no. So it feels like the pandemic at least has put people, we see it with, all these strikes going on where people are like, we're done with this. But anyway, let me share this because this a person, J7 Politics. I'm sure a lot of you know him from Twitter. But look how he translated those numbers. 56, nothing. Proletariat, economy, capitalists, COVID, authoritarians, liberals, look. So he's basically saying these are the people who are even giving him this, because he should be zeros on everything. Neocons are giving him for 4%. Liberals, who are going to love him to death no matter what he says, right there, 4%. Authoritarians who like the mandates, who like what he's doing, the lockdowns, whatever the case may be. That's what this person is saying. And then capitalist thinks that everything is going great. That's who this is. And all of us are saying nothing. Love that analogy. Let me see. I'm going to retweet this here. Retweet that if you see it on Twitter. Great. Let me throw some comments up here before I move to the next story. And now I'm going to be getting into the main part of this video, where we're going to be talking about. So I put up, the old left is the problem part 2. I'll touch upon that when I examine this debate. But Rome hit me up. He wants to be a part of it. He has a lot to say. So part 2 will be like next Wednesday, part of that stream right before the Marianne Williamson event. But I will kind of cover that Also today. I'm trying to think of what was the other. I don't want to turn my back. Okay, here it goes right here. Oh, the other one was the Marianne Williams event. Oh, so this debate covers that. So this debate kind of covers both items. That's what I was trying to get to. That this debate that I'm about to cover um, kind of is going to touch on both of those. Yes, I'll vote for Rome. We initially were going to do part 2 today, and he was going to join today. But then after talking about the event next week, he was like, "No, I want to get prepared more." So, let's see, $10 an hour working 60 hours a week can't pay bills. Just think of that: you working 60 hours in a week, and you can't pay all of your bills. You're still struggling. Yes, John King brought to us by Pfizer. Absolutely. Um, Eat the rich. They're all we can afford. Great point. Uh, Polls tell us what the rich are thinking and try to gaslight people into believing their bull. That is absolutely true. And I've said that before. Um, I've said that before. That anytime you see everybody's in for war, that's trying to convince us to be forward. Because what people do is people want to be winners. That's American culture, how we're conditioned. So you want to just gravitate to the winning side. We call this bandwagon jumping in America. So yeah. Inflation doesn't seem to stop Bezos from flying his rocket. Absolutely. And guess what? You know what is it? Supply chain issue is not hitting Amazon. Amazon is not having all these issues. How are they able to get product here from the same, countries? I wonder how much we're gonna find out they've made since this has happened. The supply chain thing. Record profits, absolutely. Heard another banker saying the very stimulus money given to people during the pandemic was a reason for inflation. They're truly criminals. They just say all kind of just. But the problem is because they're on TV and they're in a suit, and when you put expert, under their name in their nameplate, people believe them and just go off what they say. If the president created a record number of jobs, but because of the high cost of living, need to have 2 or 3 jobs just to keep their head above water, that's a great point. You created a record number of jobs, but what if it's just one person, individual people needing multiple jobs to survive? That is a great point. If that's the point you're making, that's how I read that. There. Yeah, got a sharp mind. Oh, you got a sharp mind, sir. Excellent breakdown. Absolutely. Or thank you, sir. All those numbers are fake. They could be, but we're discussing them. Maybe they are fake. I don't know. Such a liar. This is very hard to watch. Wow, I'm sorry, Aaron Anderson, because there's a lot of people in here that love what I'm saying. So I'm sorry that this is very hard for you to watch. If that's what you're saying, not sure if I took what you're saying wrong, then you're more than can explain. No president has ever created job except maybe New Deal. That is a great point. The majority of bailout went to corporations again. Absolutely. All right, so let's shift to. I think I got enough comments here. Let's shift to the debate. So I'm gonna put it in the screen here. Let's take this off here. So I cut out about 20 minutes. We're not gonna watch it like straight 20 minutes, just parts. And I'm gonna start and stop and talk. But so let me bring up his information just so I can give him the proper introduction of the person who I debated, because he actually ran for office. I'm sure a lot of you may know who he is. I have so many windows up. This new window is moving kind of slow. me to look up Hector. But anyway, so some of you may have even helped to boost him on social media, help campaign. Or maybe may call. All right, we are live. Welcome to another episode of You Left Shit Out. I'm your host. 1 second here. Okay. My screen froze. So I froze a little bit. That's the reason why I paused a second. So anyway, I'm trying to look him up. I'm joined by a very special guest today for this episode, Hector, episode 3, Mr. Hector Oseguera. Sorry.
Close. Oseguera.
Oseguera. He even spelled it phonetically for me, and I still. Sorry, I was talking over it. Let me give him the proper introduction first. What's up, Bob? Yeah, so let me share my screen, a different screen. Let's take this one. Let's take this one out, and I'm going to share a different screen here. All right, so let's share this one. So this is the person I debated, Hector Oseguera. I think that's how you say it, Oseguera. Hudson County progressive anti-money laundering specialist. That's his occupation. And he's from New Jersey. So this is who Hector is. This is his campaign video. Let me play that actually first, just so you can get a good idea of who he is. Now, this is when he ran. He lost his race, so this isn't current. So yeah, here is Hector, the person I debated.
When you cry out for justice, is anyone listening? Across the country, people are asking.
FYI, he did run as a Democrat. I make sure I say that.
Do our leaders represent us? When there's lead in our water.
Lead levels have been found in many Newark homes.
When ICE terrorizes our neighbors.
ICE cracked down and kick into high gear now.
When luxury high rises go up as fast as your rent does. Is anyone listening? I'm Hector Oseguera, West New York's native son. My father Hondureño, Mami Dominicana, and I'm running to represent the people of the 8th District. Because what good are high rises if people can't afford to live in them? What good is representation if you're not being heard? The political bosses may think they're in control, but around here, we run things. We put food on the table. We create our local businesses. We keep this community running, and we know we deserve better. Better than double the national uninsured rate. Better than to be priced out of our communities and kicked out of our homes. Better than absent politicians oblivious to our daily struggles. Because we need a leader who isn't bought by luxury developers, who believes that healthcare is a human right, not a tool for profit. Someone to act now on the climate crisis with a Green New Deal that avoids the next Hurricane Sandy. A leader to stand up and fight back for our immigrants, not bought by the private prison industry. During this mail-in primary, let's show the machine bosses
that in these streets, we run things.
Mail in your vote for me, Hector Oseguera, by July 7th, because a vote for me is a voice for you. I'm Hector Oseguera, and I approve this message.
So there you go. So wanted to give him proper introduction. That is Hector. If you didn't know who he is, that video kind of gives you an idea of his campaign, how he ran his campaign. So anyway, now let me get back to the video that the debate we actually did here. All right, let's set up. My apologies, sir. How are you doing, Hector?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be here. Thanks so much for the invitation, and I'm very excited to touch on this topic. Very controversial topic.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get into, so what I'm going to do is play the video that kind of spurred this conversation, this topic, and then we'll get right. Actually, let me fast forward through there because I want to get right into. I didn't know I had all this. I want to get right into what he
Are
said.
the ones progressives like myself and a lot of the candidates that, I also want to take this as a conversation that we're talking about, or you were talking about Marianne Williamson and her candidates and
Absolutely.
those people running as Democrats that Bree and Katie Halper and Crystal Ball are promoting. And I know a lot of those candidates, they're great candidates. If you live in their districts,
as do I. Yes.
I hope you support them. I hope if you can, donate to them. But those are the only people, not the only ones. Let me not say that because that would be an exaggeration. But they are making an actual attempt to take power away from the Democratic power establishments. Those candidates that we're talking about, I don't see them begging anybody. I see them actively opposing corporatists in a way that other people are not on an electoral.
So let me catch you up to this point. I don't know where the part that I edited. Doesn't seem like this is it, but let me catch you up to this part. So I made a video where that he's referring to. So he's responding to that. This is kind of what spurred the conversation. He saw, my video that which one was that? Oh, begging, where I said that the inside game strategy is essentially a strategy of begging. He saw that video, and then he saw my video on the Marianne Williamson event, and that's what had him reach out to me. So that's what he's saying here.
Level. If we're going to have the conversation of the inside outside strategy, there are three things that we kind of have.
This is the part that I want to discuss. He's saying in order to have this discussion, this debate that he and I were going to have, there's three basic things that we all have to agree on. So he's kind of saying, we have to operate from the same facts, which is a good thing. We need to make sure you operate from the same facts. So this is where we diverge.
To agree on for you to accept that this is a worthwhile strategy.
Before you get into the strategy, just to address some of the comments.
Sure.
Because a lot of people thought this conversation was going to go a different way. They thought I was bringing on somebody who agreed with me, who agreed with the statement, not with me, because we're going to find out that we're actually in agreement.
Indeed, we are in agreement, and I agree with that.
But what I wanted to point out before we get into it is, this is what RBN wants to do. We want to have conversations with people we may necessarily not agree with. These are the conversations we want to have. This is what we're not afraid of.
Right.
This is what political discourse must move towards.
Absolutely.
Having conversations, saying your point. All right. I don't need to.
We have a for-profit healthcare system versus a Medicare for all single-payer system. Doesn't matter if we have a bloated military budget as opposed to a non-interventionist policy. Does policy ultimately matter? Do you think?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes. And I agree with you. And I'll agree with that. Now, point number two.
So that's his first point is that let me have him say
and I'll pose them as questions to you, CJ. Does it matter what policies get enacted? Meaning, does it matter whether we have a for-profit healthcare system versus a Medicare for all single-payer system?
So you guys answer that question. Does that matter? Does it matter what policies get enacted? And I would say yes, because that's what we're all fighting for. The policies which policies to get enacted. So my answer to his question was yes. There's three questions now. The first one was yes. Let's continue.
Does it matter if we have a bloated military budget as opposed to a non-interventionist policy? Does policy ultimately matter? Do you think?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes. And I agree with you. And I'll agree with that. Now, point number two. Do the people that get elected ultimately have an outcome on that policy? Do elected officials determine in a very significant way what sort of policy gets enacted? Yes or no? No, you don't think that politicians, you think that it doesn't matter who sits in the seat? No matter
I do not.
Okay.
This is where I think caught him off guard, because he thought I was going to say yes to this question. Where I think he thought I was going to say yes to all questions, because saying yes to this question means it's a yes for the third question. I know you haven't heard it yet, but I know it means it's a yes for the third question. So he thought I was going to say yes to this, but let's see further see his response.
So if you believe that,
CJ, part where we deserve, because where we diverge is because I believe corporations have the power, regardless of who's in there. And let me make this point.
Sure.
It's because let's take Pfizer, because that's a known entity. Pfizer donates to both Republicans and Democrats, right?
Indeed.
Corporate, it doesn't matter. So the question becomes, does Pfizer's corporate plan change whether a Democrat is in office or a Republican in office? And I think the answer is no.
It's not.
So their
policy
plan
that gets enacted might be different. Their plan of corporations or corporatism of making profits is the same whether a Democrat is in office or a Republican. That's the entire reason why they donate to both. And this is the reason my answer to your question is no. Is because the politicians aren't the ones who's determining what laws are being enacted. They're simply the people whose arms is clicking the lever, but they're connected by a string to a corporation. So you got to look at it as a puppet. You get what I'm saying? I agree, but it's not a one-to-one.
So this is the reason why my answer is no to that question, though.
Okay, but I disagree, and I do disagree. I agree on some parts, and the corporations do want policy to follow their direct wants. But for a corporation's direct wants to become policy, it goes through a middleman, and that middleman is the politician.
So he basically is arguing that the politician can do whatever they want, and that these new politicians for this Marianne Williamson event are not going to fall in line like every other progressive that we've seen elected. That's what he's saying, which is the same thing we were told with the first round of Justice Democrats, which is the same thing we were told by AOC. Now, to be fair, when I brought that up in the debate, he did say, I agree with, basically he agreed with me in that he doesn't want to use the squad or the progressives who are currently in office as an example of what they're trying to do. And I'm like, well, what other example do we have to look to? And this was what's hindering. I said this yesterday with Sabi and JB. I think I have that video clip. This is what's hindering the candidates who are running now. I feel sorry for them. The squad is not helping them. They're not showing the results of electing progressives, producing anything. They're not showing that electing the progressives produces results. I think that's a better way of saying it. They're just disappointing people. So if the squad was fighting, not winning, JB makes this point. The victory's in the fight. If the squad was just fighting, that would pump people up. Yeah, they're fighting. They're fighting. And they got close. They just need 3 more people. Let's elect 3 more people. Let's go campaign. That's how you motivate people. But if you have a squad in there who's terrible, who's bending, who's saying they get an A grade, who's voting for Iron Domes, and then you say, come vote for more people who are labeling themselves the same, progressives, leftists, as the people who are in there doing nothing. It's unfortunate, but that's what's happening. You don't have an example, and then for you to just say, we don't want to use them as an example. People are fed up. people are fed up. And then actually let me let me find the video, because I keep referring to these videos. And so let me just find the video. Actually, am I sharing right now? Oh, I'm not. So yeah, let me find the video and then we can play it. It is on RBN's page. Okay. Oops. Hang on a second, everyone. Okay, so media. We'll play JB's first, because the fight. Oh, I'm going to play. This is another JB clip. That's why I paused. But the fight is actually a couple of clips I'm going to play here for this conversation. So let's play this JB clip, and then we'll get back to the debate. So let me take this out of the stream and play this other one here. Share screen. This one. All right, so the problem for non-corporate candidates running for office right now is the squad is proving that electing progressives doesn't produce results. And that's essentially what JB is saying here in this clip. Let's pause it and make it bigger. Find it and oops, a little more. And here is JB. They aren't proving that the strategy of electing non-corporate Democrats work. And that's the problem for the candidates right now, is that the squad is literally like tearing down any paths for any other progressives to get there right now in this specific, maybe in another election, but in 2022, I'm not sure. JB, what do you think about that?
Okay, so the problem with us isn't, I think they're trying to get as many victories as possible. And to us, the victory's in the fight. So it's just like, we don't care if you lose as long as you fight.
Right.
Including against your party. If you went down swinging, it's like, we'll be behind you. Be like, yes, you went down swinging. Good. You went up against them. Like, even if Forced to Vote failed, we would still be behind. How many of us would still be behind them if Forced to Vote actually happened? Even if they failed, we would still be like, yeah, we got some G's in the house. Let's go. Let's just get more of them. And then we would be like that.
And then they will be able to promote these candidates. Look, we just need a few more. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, CJ. But that's the thing. We don't see the fight. And that's part of the problem. It's like, they're like, we're going to fight against the Democratic Party. And then next thing you know, they run away. And it's like, why are you running? You guys said that you guys wanted to fight. And that's one of the things that I think that's part of one of the reasons why a lot of us are just like, the hell with them, because we see them as, like people in the country say, yellow belly.
They aren't proving absolutely yellow belly. And so that was a JB clip from that same episode. Now let's go to the Sabby clip. She also makes a point here. So let me read it first. The left is at a breaking point where we're in a different situation than 2015. This type of rhetoric, I spelled it wrong there. I spelled it right. I remember this, but the autocorrect corrected it to this. And I thought that was odd. But anyway, push progressives over the top. Last time, the new left, the old left versus the new left is a class divide. Sabby speaks about the old left. So let's play her clip about the same topic. She was on the show yesterday with JB.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say this. The other night, there was a stream. Katie Halper did a stream with two candidates. And I'm just going to tell you the live chat comments, it was really hard to find a positive comment. I think this is a breaking point. I think this is a dividing line. And I think it's again, I think it's coming down to a class issue. We are in a different situation than we were in 2015. Like this type of rhetoric in 2015 put progressives through. Times were different back then. Like now we have a pandemic, a lot of people are unemployed, unhoused, like things are worse economically. So now we have people who are part of the class divide, the working class. A lot of us are just like, no, we're not gonna do this anymore. I gave money to AOC. I gave money to Bernie Sanders. A lot of us, a part of the working class, canvassed for the squad and canvassed for people like Bernie Sanders. The people that you're seeing on these large platforms, most of them did not. And that's what they don't understand. Like they didn't really go out and do any type of work. So for those of us who put all this energy and physical work into it and donate our money to them, I'm sorry, I don't have money to give to another progressive candidate anymore. I just can't do it. I knew people that gave their last $10, their last $5 to help get Bernie Sanders elected. And it's just, that's what they don't seem to understand. And then to hear Sam Cedar, when he's debating Jackson Hinkle, say, I did not donate to AOC, and to say that he doesn't care, that should be a wake-up call to anyone watching this show. They told us to do these things. They told us to donate to them, and they told us to go out there and help volunteer and canvass for them. Meanwhile, they sat at home. So no, I'm not giving my money to those candidates. So in reference to them doing their thing and us doing our thing and still having coalition together, based on the comments that I saw in that live stream, I think we're already past that point.
We're past that. Wow.
Can
you kind of talk about those comments a little more? Do you like were the comments like bad about the Democrats or those specific candidates on the show?
It wasn't about the candidates.
Yeah. So Sabby's watching a live stream with Katie Halpert, and Katie brings on a couple of candidates, non-corporate candidates. And there goes Rome.
In my
Hang on a second. There goes Rome right there. What's up, Rome? What's up, man? So yeah, I was just in the point, just telling everybody that Sabrina was watching a live stream with Katie Halper, and she brought on some non-corporate Democrats, like what Marianne Williams is trying to do with her event. And and Sabrina said they was in the comments, and it was no positive comments. Very hard to find positive comments in there. Basically saying that the left is fed up. So Marianne Williamson. So we're kind of talking about two issues. We're talking about the old left is the problem, part two, kind of like what me and you talked about this morning. And we're kind of meshing it together because they're connected with this Marianne Williams event, trying to get people leftists to vote for Democrats. And so we're meshing those together. I know you was anxious to say some stuff. Did you want to kind of say? Did you want to kind of say something first, or just kind of get into the conversation?
I mean, yeah, my shit can probably wait, man, because
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Let me replay this, what she's saying here, so you can see what I mean.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say this. The other night, there was a stream. Katie Halper did.
What'd you say? Oh, I thought you said something. All right, here it goes.
Did a stream with two candidates, and I'm just gonna tell you the live chat comments. It was really hard to find a positive comment. I think this is a breaking point. I think this is a dividing line. And I think it's again, I think it's coming down to a class issue. We are in a different situation than we were in 2015. Like this type of rhetoric in 2015 put progressives through. Times were different back then. Like now we have a pandemic, a lot of people are unemployed, unhoused, like things are worse economically. So now we have people who are part of the class divide, the working class. A lot of us are just like, no, we're not gonna do this anymore. I gave money to AOC. I gave money to Bernie Sanders. A lot of us, a part of the working class, canvassed for the squad and canvassed for people like Bernie Sanders. The people that you're seeing on these large platforms, most of them did not. And that's what they don't understand. Like, they didn't really go out and do any type of work. So for those of us who put all this energy and physical work into it and donate our money to them, I'm sorry, I don't have money to give to another progressive candidate anymore. I just can't do it. I knew people that gave their last $10, their last $5 to help get Bernie Sanders elected. And it's just, that's what they don't seem to understand. And then to hear Sam Cedar, when he's debating Jackson Hinkle, say, I did not donate to AOC, and to say that he doesn't care, that should be a wake-up call to anyone watching this show. They told us to do these things. They told us to donate to them, and they told us to go out there and help volunteer and canvas for them. Meanwhile, they sat at home. So no, I'm not giving my money to those candidates. So in reference to them doing their thing and us doing our thing and still having coalition together, based on the comments that I saw in that live stream, I think we're already past that point.
So Rome, I asked her, is it possible for the old left? This is a good question for you to answer too. Is it possible for the old left and the new left to team up and we just do our own lane? Like the new left, we doing direct action. The old left, y'all want to do electoral politics. Is it possible to team up and still do something in that way? And she was saying the left seems like the left is fed up with the Democrats completely. They're not even trying to do justice Democrats. They ain't trying to do vote another AOC in. Like that's it. Are you kind of seeing and hearing the same thing? Like,
yeah, that's the hamster wheel that they got you on. That's that infinity loop of electoral politics that they got these people on. We cannot work with these people because they will not leave the nest. Like we I work for Bernie Sanders. I traveled the country for Bernie and donated and all the shit. But at a certain point, I knew Bernie Sanders wouldn't go as far as left as I would. So if I see these things and I see the leader from his own mouth saying not as far as left as me, then what do? I took the people that listened to me and I got the fuck on. And that's what they not like. See, this is the difference. Hold on, let me light this shit real quick.
Go ahead. I was just smoking earlier too. What you smoking on though? Hey, when you get here next week, man, the stuff you gonna smoke on, you gonna feel a difference. Like I don't know where your stuff comes from, so maybe it comes from Cali. Oh, then you may not. You may already been experiencing it. Maybe already, but the stuff that don't come in a package still. The loose stuff that you get in the jar, you know what I'm saying? Not the ones that come in the package.
Pre-packed. Fuck pre-packed.
Yeah. So it's a little bit stickier, So, but anyway, back to the discussion.
There's the difference. Here's the difference. I'm gonna just say me and Kyle Kalinske, right? Mm-hmm. I probably had like 15 Twitter pages. 4 of them reached 10,000. His following swallows all of ours and some. Mm-hmm. You know what we do with our platforms? We create opportunities, organizations, news organizations, putting general strikes and shit like that. We're calling for power to be held by the people. But what do they do with their following? What do they do with the millions of dollars that they earn? Not even just, I'm gonna say, I ain't gonna over exaggerate. I'm gonna say hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Because we don't know. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good start.
I just bought some land in Detroit for a couple of $1,000. Some land that's gonna be pushing out goods in the community, giving people opportunities, jobs. Why can't they do the same thing? Hell no, I can't work with a nigga like that. Because all they're going to do is bring a nigga like me down and try to distract me or try to say, well, this isn't your job to do that. It isn't your job to get people jobs and whatever the fuck. These people right here on this screen are the reason why the left is white. They're the reason why black people and brown people want to stay the fuck away from the left, because they get on the internet and they see faces like these. They don't represent us. They don't talk for us. They don't live in our. They would never come in our neighborhoods. This is why we are at where we are at now. establishment mouthpieces like Cenk Uygur and fucking David Doyle, bitch ass, even though he all the way in fucking Canada, shouldn't even be speaking on this shit. Emma Vanguard, it come from a rich family. How can she relate to any one of our working class people if we actually put her out there on the ground?
She can't.
Kyle Kalinske haven't got up from his seat in years. Y'all niggas haven't saw Kyle Kalinske feet. Y'all saw this nigga feet once or twice. Y'all saw his legs once or twice. Nigga.
I haven't seen his waist. I ain't
My
seen
nigga,
his
what can I do with a nigga like that who's like, oh well, I'm not saying Biden is the best, but you know, this is the best that we can do. Who are you saying? How do you know that this is the best that we can do? Who gave you this information, this data that tapped into the future and said Biden would be better than so-and-so on these policies? Because even though these motherfuckers said that, Biden has been worse on every fucking policy 2 times over. And what do they say? Remember what I told you when I went against Tim Black. Now it's time to fight the Democrats. Now it's time to be a Democrat. Now it's time to pick them up and pick them down. Pick them up and pick them down, right? That's what they do every fucking time. And that's their hustle. That's their job. To give you guys a little bit of fight. Okay, well, at least it feels like we're fighting. It feels like, yeah, I might have voted for the Democratic Party, but I gave them a strong worded tweet. And they just bombed the shit out of Syria.
Look at this comment here. I'm not sure exactly, Eric, talk about what another commentary said on this show. If you were answering a question. But what I'm going to use it as a way of answering, why do I in particular, and me and Rome, because Rome and I would say Nick and a lot of our RBN people, we're not about the he said, she said on the left stuff. Rome in the street, feeding people, mutual, like we doing stuff, right? But
this is not these are not commentators, my nigga. These are gatekeepers, my nigga.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Is that it's important not to do the back and forth he said, she said, but it is important to examine what's happening with the leftist infrastructure, with the leftist media infrastructure. We can't complain that corporate media doesn't take the opinions of working class, of anybody homeless, of anybody making less than 30,000. And then when our leftist media class does the same thing, we say nothing. Because like Rome said, look at the picture. Are any of these people not well off? I mean,
They can fall off right now. They can stop doing this podcast and shit. They're going to have money. They're going to have connections. They're going to have generational wealth.
Right.
We just some poor niggas. Like, even though motherfuckers want to call me a capitalist and shit like that, bro, that land costs less than a couple of you motherfuckers' shoes, than your outfits, than your yearly haircuts. That's the type of shit that we're preaching on our platform. That you can get cheap land. You can get strongholds in cities like Detroit, states like California. There is cheap land out there. You can buy them up. And if you get together, y'all get together and do this shit. Stop letting these motherfuckers believe that everybody's gonna be out there to kill. The government is out to kill you. You should already fucking know that. But so fucking what? How the hell you gonna make history by following the rules?
Who made history by following the rules? Is there a person? This person followed the best rule in history. Here he is. Like, I've never heard that ever in my life. Super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Every progressive Democrat has been a complete failure and portrayal to everything progressives and the progressive movement stands for. Done with the Dems. Absolutely. Thank you for that super chat. Let me cover the other ones. Kashama Sawat recognizes a movement in the Democratic Party ends up in a graveyard. Absolutely. Cool Blue, thank you for that super chat. And I thought I saved another one. Is this? Oh, there it goes. I think I can't say that name, but thank you for your super chat. when they obfuscate away from the squad, you punctuate that. Dem say they're a private organization and have no obligation to adhere to their charter or run their elections. Rigged. So that's something that people need to say more. That in court, they're a corporation. They don't have to abide by any of the stuff they say to us at all. So they're legally able to lie to us, bro. Go ahead.
Why do you guys believe for 1 second that these psychopathic people who bomb children will give a fuck or even feel some type of pressure from your favorite progressive? What is going through your mind that makes you think that you can just send your best swimmer in a fucking swamp? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? All that Marxist you read, all the Malcolm X speeches, all those MLK speeches, y'all haven't heard a damn thing. Y'all trying to tumble a party that can't be pushed. What the fuck is wrong with you? And I know what I'm doing, it might seem like it's the hard way around, but it's not. It's really not. It's really the easy way around. This way, I don't have to jump over Joe Biden being a fucking rapist or a segregationist. I don't have to jump over Bernie Sanders being weak on black issues. I just carry my own fucking voice and use my own fucking name and my own fucking face.
Wow.
Go connect with your people.
Absolutely on point, Rome. I actually found a clip here. I didn't clip this one. This is from somebody else clipped from the episode we did. So let's listen where you're talking. I think it's JB talking about this same issue. Let's see what somebody clipped together for us to watch here. And here we go.
So
everybody laughing.
Let's say this to our audience. And I'm going to speak for myself because you two are grown-ass men. And I respect your voice, and I don't want to speak over you. I hate being wrong about these things. I detest being wrong. I wish that it was a pathway to get to liberation through the Democratic Party. I wish that we didn't have to force a vote. I wish that we can move Biden to the left. I wish I could do all these things. But we have to live in reality. And what have we been observing so far? And let's use the scientific method according to what we have been observing when it comes to this duopoly, the two-party system. Has our efforts been working in pushing people towards the left? No. Have we been trying to do everything that we've been possible to make things happen by saying what we need to, whether it be in Twitter, whether it be in town halls, whether it be through our votes? We've been saying what we need to say. Has it been working? No. So therefore, what is the definition of insanity? It is doing the same thing over and over and over again while expecting different results. And
perfectly put by JB. I hadn't watched that clip, but that was cool to find that clip on from JB. But to his point and to your point and to speaking, I'm gonna play. You haven't seen this yet, and I know it's gonna rile you up when I play this
politicians
debate here,
ultimately.
But to both of your points, we've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
These are non-corporate candidates. Let's vote for them. We've seen this movie before where the old left, the Democrats, they're terrible, but they're better than the Republicans. We've seen all of this before, and it's not working. oh, let's vote. The old left told us to vote in Joe Biden because he can fix the pandemic. And what happened? More deaths.
He can appeal to moderates.
Exactly. And now look what's happening. I showed him the poll earlier, Rome. I showed him the poll where he's doing terrible in every single category.
Yeah, I seen that. And you know what's so crazy? That these people openly admit that they are going to pull these people to the right when they say that, oh, well, we need Joe Biden to appeal to moderate. We don't need to appeal to nobody. Y'all have, if y'all was to do your job, y'all have more than enough people, more than enough black people getting out here to change some shit.
Exactly. If you really cut child poverty, people would vote for you. If you really cut child poverty, like if 40% of kids were taken out of poverty, you know how many votes you got? Because you know why? If 40% of kids were really taken out of poverty, that means their parents were too.
Yes.
So if you took 40% of people out of poverty, you're getting the votes that you need, but you're not doing anything.
That's way more than enough. Like, come on now. Who you
They're not doing what they want. They know what they need to do, but they're still not doing it. And then I think it's almost like they are trying to lose. You can't be this bad. They all been in office for 20, 30 years. How are you this bad at being a politician?
I mean, that's their whole game, because Democrats set it up for Republicans to knock it down. Or it can be vice versa, just like how Joe Biden been passing a lot of shit that Trump wanted to get passed. He couldn't get passed because of the media was on him. But they all play that back and forth game where, I don't like you. You don't like me, and blah, blah. But they all work together. They all eat together. They go to the same clubs. They raise their kids together. Their kids go to the same schools.
All know each other, yeah.
While we over here fighting, we fighting on Twitter about it. We fighting on Twitter about who's our favorite politician and who fought for what. And you know what? Hey, all that shit is performative at the end of the day anyway. Because if I was the only politician in America that voted against a war, I know it's still going to pass. But this is how we keep you niggas into politics.
Right.
By having a nigga like me that's anti-war, who's not really fighting against the war. I'm just voting against it.
Right. It's what I forget who said it, but it's so you believe you have somebody inside working for you. That's what the squad is for. That's what the progress. So you believe that you have somebody inside working for you. But let me play the next section of the clip for this.
You have power to turn around and.
So I was having a debate, and Hector was saying, in order for him and I to have a debate, we have to agree on 3 different things. And the second thing we didn't agree on. So I'll rewind it just a little bit so you can hear. I do not.
Okay. If you believe.
And it caught him off guard because he thought I was going to say, yes, I agree. Oh, there we go.
Absolutely.
Having conversations, saying your point of view, and moving on. I mean, it's a better of the understanding. So I just wanted to say that because some people was, are you going to be, promoting Democrats? That's not what this conversation is about.
Not at all.
And the thing is, so I'll just leave it there. So back to what you were saying.
Yeah, what I think we all are going to agree with is that what I want and what I think you want is to see leftists in power and move policy in a legitimately leftist direction, right? Is that correct? Is that what I mean? That would make me happy, right? So
absolutely.
So talking about the inside outside strategy, just to get these 3 points across, because there's some things we got to agree on as a base set, right? And and I'll pose them as questions to you, CJ. Does it matter what policies get enacted? Meaning, does it matter whether we have a for-profit healthcare system versus a Medicare for all single-payer system? Does it matter if we have a bloated military budget as opposed to a non-interventionist policy? Does policy ultimately matter? Do you think?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yes. And I agree with you. And I'll agree with that. Now, point number 2. Do the people that get elected ultimately have an outcome on that policy? Do elected officials determine in a very significant way what sort of policy gets enacted? Yes or no? No, you don't think that politicians, you think that it doesn't matter who sits in the seat?
I do not.
Okay, if you believe that, CJ,
where we diverge is because I believe corporations have the power, regardless of who's in there. And let me make this point.
Sure.
It's because let's take Pfizer, because that's a known entity. Pfizer donates to both Republicans and Democrats, right?
Indeed.
Corporate, it doesn't matter. So the question becomes, does Pfizer's corporate plan change whether a Democrat is in office or a Republican in office? And I think the answer is no.
It's not.
So their
policy
plan
that
to
gets
gain,
enacted
but
might be
hang
different.
on, their plan of corporations or corporatism of making profits is the same whether a Democrat is in office or a Republican. That's the entire reason why they donate to both. And this is the reason my answer to your question is no. Is because the politicians aren't the ones who determining what laws are being enacted. They're simply the people whose arms is clicking the lever, but they're connected by a string to a corporation. So you got to look at it as a puppet. You get what I'm saying?
I agree, but it's not a one-to-one.
So this is the reason why my answer is no to that question, though.
Okay, but
so I'll pause it there.
Some niggas are only skin deep in this shit, bro. They're only skin deep in it. And I know some of you motherfuckers know better by now to just sit like you killed them. You killed them. And these are the fears that he feared of actually going deeper than skin. Actually going in this motherfucker and pulling the bad and evil out. Yes, you can have black women as judges. You can have black men as police officers. That shit don't change who really control this motherfucker. So no, it don't matter who you have in that motherfucker. Like I keep telling you people who the same people who want me to run for office in my town or for here and there. I'm like, no. Because then when
they ask you to run and you're like, what?
Get killed. Like there is
I said the same thing to him. He was like, so you're telling me, Jay, if you get elected, and I'm like, I probably would. Because you have to understand the system is so strong and so deadly and dangerous. You don't know what they tell people. The real people running the country, you don't know what they do. Bring you in a room. Hey, this is what's really going on, sir. If you get out of bounds,
you see what happened to him and JFK.
Right. Something is going on to where every single person who was a good person goes in, and then something happens, and they go, "I'm pulling back." That's all. That's all I'm saying. But go ahead, Rome, to your point about what Hector is saying. It doesn't matter, or what I was saying. It doesn't matter who's in office because Pfizer's plan does. We got a Republican corporate plan, and then we got a Democrat. It plan is the same. It don't matter who's in there. You're gonna execute the same exact. You're gonna execute the same exact thing. Let me see what he said right here. Rome, where did you get that?
I don't buy my commie gears. This should be gifts. But I be seeing these bitches on eBay. I saw one on it was some website. As soon as you type in, just type in commie hat on Google. It should be like right there. Because I was
on Google. I'm surprised Google ain't did anything yet about that, considering this new law they're gonna come after us. But let's play. Somebody in the comments said they wanted to hear or they liked a certain section.
I disagree, and I do disagree. I agree on some parts, and the corporations do want policy to follow their direct wants. But for a corporation's direct wants to become policy, it goes through a middleman, and that middleman is the politician. So in my view, the politicians ultimately do have power to turn around and say, thank you, corporation, for your money, but I'm not going to do that. And then they won't get the money anymore. So that's not what happens, obviously. But the point being, in my opinion, and I think it's legitimate to argue, politicians do have power and they could choose to do something else. They choose not to because they're being given money by the corporations who become their masters. It technically, even following on your, the way you draw it, technically, if a politician wasn't beholden to a corporation, but was beholden to the community that they live in. If the community told them what to do, they would do that instead. You see what I'm saying? And so that's why ultimately I do think it matters who gets elected.
Yeah. I mean, if what people were saying were heard by politicians, things would be different. That obviously is not being heard. So he basically is saying the new people that he wants to get elected, the new people that Marianne Williamson for her event, these people aren't going to turn their back. They're not going to do what AOC did if they get elected. And I'm saying
they're just going to hang
around
AOC. They're just going to hang around them and rub.
Right? How do we know that? Look at Cori Bush, and of all the people still in the squad, I like Cori Bush. I still like Cori Bush, and she is still screaming defund the police. She still kind of have her activist roots, but she still is not the same. Medicare for Our March, she didn't want to appear on camera. Medicare for Our March, she didn't want to take. So she is still not the same, even though she's further than most everybody else, but she's still not the same. It affects people. I don't know what it is that affects them, and you don't know, Hector, but something is going on.
Man, they see like even us as, you know what I'm saying, whatever the fuck you want to call us, man. We report news. Even with the shit that we know that they will kill us. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what is actually being said. So I don't. That's why I don't even get caught up on these politicians and all this red, blue, and green shit no more, man. Because I'm telling y'all, man. You know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something. Since y'all niggas like voting so much, this is what you do. If you want healthcare, if you want, like shrooms and certain drug programs in your hood, get ranked choice voting in your city. Mm-hmm. Just get it passed in your city. It's gonna be easier to get it passed in your cities. You work on your towns, your states, and then y'all can have healthcare. It might cause a domino effect to where other states were to want to get healthcare or move to your state, move to your city, your town, et cetera, et cetera. That's what you niggas should do. If you motherfuckers want to vote so bad, go do that. But
vote locally. So that's your suggestion, that do all your voting locally.
No, organize locally and get enough people pissed off enough and teach them that we can get these things passed without politicians. If we was to get ranked choice voting passed, we can just be like, this is what the people want overall. You know what I'm saying? Not what we draw out of a hat. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna bring in JB again for another short comment. This was yesterday when we were talking about the old left and teaming up with them and all that stuff. So let me it's moving a little slow. Let me share my screen here. JB, this one is the one. And here is a video, what JB says here. Oh.
So I'm going to say this to our audience. And I'm going to speak for myself because you
is this is not this. This is a different one. Do you? Oh, yeah. I shared the wrong one. My bad, guys. I got two JBs up. All right, so this one here is where he's talking about. I need to understand how to work this computer. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't use my wife's computer next time. All right, so now I think I got it. All right, so here is JB, and he's answering the question: do you see a possibility of the old left and the new left teaming up? So let's see what JB's answer to that question is. But when you think of the old left and the new left in your mind, and whatever definition of the old left and new left is yours, do you see I want you to answer it not in the realm of reality, meaning like, is it possible? Is it hypothetically speaking? Do you see that possibility of old left and new left teaming up on some things?
God. Question.
It's hard to answer.
And it's funny because a lot of times,
nice,
and we have been saying on RBN for the entire duration that we've been around that if there's somebody that has some points that we disagree on, but we want to walk together on certain things, on our terms, then we're willing to do that. And we said that about people who may have some right-wing inclinations. And it's like, well, what about people who have more left-wing inclinations but aren't as far left as we are? Is that something that we can also do as well? Mm-hmm. And there tends to be a judgment on either side, and which I find myself guilty of too. But there tends to be a judgment on either side. So there's the one part where they are the quote unquote highly educated. Mm-hmm. They are the kind of elitist form. It's like, haha, you're not going to work within the Democratic Party? Well, you're idiotic. You're dumb. You guys just don't live in reality. We live in reality, and we have the degrees to prove it. And then you have the other side, which is more like us, who are looking at this side. We're like, yeah, no, you guys are being fooled by the Democratic Party, and plus you guys are being overly elitist, and plus you don't have a sense of urgency.
Yeah. So So what he said, how he imitated the old left.
That nigga was basically saying no. He was basically saying no in a nice way. He way too nice for this job.
Yeah, he said no, but in a nice way. But what do you think about what he says? How the old left thinks, like they think we're dumb that we don't want to team up. Like we're being immature, like we're childish because we refuse to accept their framing as this is our only option. What do you say about that?
This is what these motherfuckers been doing. Like this. They call our black leaders dumb, uneducated, and rowdy. So look at it like this, man. They just doing their job. They have been doing their job by keeping you guys in the middle just enough to fill their pockets and to get the Democratic Party their votes. Because let's be honest, they got rich off of you guys. Like, I don't know. Maybe I am the dumb one for trying to listen to them one time, but I know one thing. I would never let my audience outleft me. There is no reason for these people to still be here 10, 12, 15 years, 20 years here now, Jenk. And most of your audience is to the left of you. That is a problem. So, hey, call me what you want.
That's what it feels like, Nick, or Rome. It feels like they're not updated. Like if they were saying this in 2008, they okay, y'all still okay, y'all talking about Obama. It's 22, man. It's 22, and we just had a pandemic, man. Come on, like this is not serious, right? They're not serious, and this is why I'm kind of meshing both of them. I'm playing videos talking about the old left, and then I'm playing you stuff that's talking about voting for it because they're together. The old left is still telling us to vote for Democrats, and they're telling us to vote for progressive Democrats.
Like always.
That's what's happening. Go ahead.
Like, I mean, like always, man. What else can they do? Are they gonna get out here?
Yeah.
Are you gonna see these motherfuckers out here feeding people?
That's a great point.
Like, okay, I don't want to hear shit about no charities.
Right.
I don't want to hear shit about no charities or what they have gave. Have you handed a motherfucker some shit? Are you gonna really get out here and teach the people and feed your community with the money that you took from the community? Because you niggas are no better than a church, if you ask me. Straight like that. I'm just saying, what the fuck else? What they gonna do? They're gonna tell you guys to rebel, and then if they tell you guys to rebel, okay, if they're your teachers, then show me. Show me how to rebel, Kyle Kalinske. Show me how to rebel, Crystal Ball. Show me how to rebel. They can't.
They're not interested in that. Why would they go from their cushiony life to protesting to doing that? Why would they do that? That's why they're never pushing for events. They'll report on it. This is why they want to stay in the I'm just a reporter mode. That's my lane. I'm just in that lane.
But you're not even reporting shit. You doing they all they do is really talk shit about MSNBC, but show their fucking videos.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, like, what do you do with this platform? Do you know what I would be doing with 100,000 motherfucking subscribers? With 1 million motherfucking Twitter? Do you know what the fuck I would be doing? Like, man, what? We will be out here, bro. Everybody will be on the motherfucking ground. Tour for the Poor will be strong as shit. I have so many people on the fucking ground. Don't tell me it can't be done because I'm doing it now with the tip of the platform.
With the little bit of you have. Imagine you had these. Some of these people have 800,000 followers. I think they just hit 700,000. Breaking Point just hit 700,000 or something like that. If anybody can correct us in the comments, please do. Something like that. Over 700,000 followers. They celebrated or something. What are you doing with this? Like, literally, if we are able to reach just imagine if we had 100,000 followers, Rome, for our General Strike Summit. How many more people could we have reached?
Man,
how many more union people would have been at? Oh, you know what? I heard about that. Let me come on because we're reaching more people. Go ahead,
man. I seen some shit. I seen some contracts. I seen the houses. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm gonna say is they just doing their motherfucking job, man. And telling people to rebel against the system that they get paid off of isn't something that.
Yeah, that's funny. It's almost like it's funny, but they're saying they have 751 breaking points, and FFN is what is FNN again? Breaking points. Anyway, so breaking points gets 751,000, and it's theirs. It's not owned by a corporation, so it's not like the corporation is preventing us from using our platform to. No. So what are you doing about that? Are you gathering people together, Sagar and Crystal, Sagar, right-wing populists, on the stuff that you agree with? You both agree with corruption. You both agree that corporations are taking advantage of us. Then what are you doing besides talking, pontificating? And this is the reaon why they'll never. And Sabrina said they know who we are. They'll never bring it up because you're not gonna lead your own audience to somebody who's more progressive and more left leaning than you. You get what I'm saying? You're not gonna introduce your audience to that. They will just leave you and be like, "Hey, this is why we're listening to the fake one. Let's go listen to the people who are talking and doing instead of the people who are just talking."
Who over here? The Nazi and the white supremacists and the ex-Nazi. Like, damn, you just done right over us for real? Like, you don't see this big ass group of black people over here? Like, who don't notice a big ass group of black people talking about down with the fucking government? You don't lie to me. Because I done seen your Twitter feed. I done seen the people that you retweet. I seen the shots that you retweeted. You didn't say it out your own mouth, but I'm saying it out my own mouth. Ain't no room for the old left.
It's not.
Ain't no room. And that's why Emma was feeling so frustrated when that caller was getting harassed about that shit. Because look, we can't almost leaked some shit. That's why
Okay. But then we can go to this super chat, or not super chat, but this comment. The old left arguments about an inside game existed and failed since I was a teen and young man during the. Listen to that. They've been saying this whole inside game strategy for decades, and it's never worked. Answer me this. This is to the audience. While progressives are electing all of these left-leaning members, what are corporate Democrats doing? What are corporations doing? They're just sitting back, like, oh, go ahead, guys, elect people. They are spending money.
They just passed the motherfucking PAC. They just gave this moderate Democrats a fucking anti-progressive PAC. So go ahead and elect your progressives. Wow. They already got the money to fight against.
It's like them. A PAC. It's like a PAC that supports candidates against progressives.
Yeah, against they're gonna
against progressives. Yeah. So that's what I was saying yesterday. Like, it's crazy that Nina Turner is running for a party to be a part of a team that don't want you. They're specifically trying to run people so that you don't win. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's just weird. I mean, now they're gonna
better luck next time, team.
Yeah,
team. You are not on a fucking team. Yeah. You are not on a fucking. People's lives are at stake here. People's lives are at stake here. Ain't no good luck next time. No, we can.
That's the divide. That's the divide, Rome. That's the divide. That's the difference between the old left and the new left. And the people saying stay with the Democrats one more time is that they have time. They have time. I don't know anybody.
Their house is not going to get hit by them bombs.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who's living literally on the edge. Who's like, oh, I got 4 years. Let's see in 4 years which Democrat I can get in. Then I'll be able to go see a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are these people doing in the meantime? But anyway, Rome, we are coming to the end of a stream. I was supposed to only go an hour and 15 is the typical showtime. But anytime I have an RBN a member on, we go later. Like yesterday, we went later.
You
know, I'm on Rockfin too. I started streaming on Rockfin this whole week. I've been streaming on Rockfin. So, CJ, please do a tour around the country to get around YouTube algorithm. That will be. I don't know if you remember. We talked about that. Will be cool to have an RBN tour, like the six of us, where we're able to tour around speaking, like we're campaigning. We're touring around, and we get a 5,000 seater in Long Beach at the Long Beach Cal State Long Beach. They got their basketball arena. Fits 5,000 people. We can fill 5,000 people on a tour. 5,000 people. Sell. You have to sell tickets. You got to pay for the venue. We could do something like this. Tour around, giving speeches and speaking and building community. Creating different branches of our organization everywhere we're traveling to. So that would be something I would love to do in the future. What do you think about something like that, Ron?
Shit. You
kind of do that already. Yeah. You already do that. What do you think about all of us joining you then? I guess that would be the question.
Shit, that's probably the best.
All of us going around speaking and stuff.
Yeah, that's probably for the best, for real. Get everybody out here, we can really make some strongholds out here and push, socialism and whatever the fuck we want to push. So,
yeah, I think that's what I think that's what we got to do. You getting ready to go somewhere? Okay. So yeah, we've come to the end of our stream. Thank you for everybody. I'm streaming on Rockfin now, Rome. I don't know if you heard when I said it earlier, because all this time up until this point I haven't even had anything on Rockfin. So shout out to everybody on Rockfin. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for your comments. Let me see. From Stage Stargazer, I don't know anyone who approves of Biden. Thank you for that comment. Beverly Jensen, she says hate Biden Harris, and Beverly Jensen also says all four are boogie as bitches.
I love you.
Yeah, so thank you for those comments on Rockfin. Thank you for everybody's comments on YouTube, and for those watching on Twitter. Thanks for joining me, Rome. Next Wednesday, you and I talked about doing a stream for that Marianne Williamson event to kind of maybe live coverage it. Maybe Nick and some other people can join us. Hopefully Sabby can join us. So hopefully we can do something like that, like live coverage of that live stream, because what these corporate people rarely do is live stream. And this is something Sabrina told me yesterday I didn't know. He was like, if you think about it, Kyle Kalinske don't live stream. All these people, they don't live stream. Sam Cedar don't, because they don't want to hear what people would be telling them live. Like what happened to those candidates on the Katie Halper show, like live saying some stuff like to your face. And yeah, because look what happened when they did the call-in show with Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland, and people were making comments like, why are you guys still pushing the Democrats? And they were getting kind of pissed off. Yeah, exactly. They were getting pissed off. They were getting kind of pissed off about that. So, and it was funny. But what you got coming up, Rome?
Oh shit, nigga, I'll be in your hood in a minute, dog. Oh man.
Yeah. Anything you got going on before you're in LA and Compton next week?
Shit, I'm getting high.
Shit, no, okay, I hear you. I hear you on that, but that's an everyday thing.
Yeah,
no where I'm at, that's an everyday thing.
Yeah, but fuck Sam Cedar though. But no, I ain't doing shit, man. I'm trying to get me a one last pizza run or a gas run before I leave Detroit. That about it. Yeah. Try to do me another run civilian before I end up streaming out there, because I'll be out there in 3 more days. So
I don't know. You said the 15th.
Yeah.
4 days.
Yep.
So Tuesday. Next Tuesday you'll be here. Okay. Next Tuesday. So all right. So yeah, Rome next in LA and Compton next Tuesday. Tour for the Poor. We're gonna hit Carmelitos is the projects in Long Beach, Nickerson Gardens, and Jordan Downs are the two that are in Compton and LA. So we're gonna be hitting those spots up. I'm gonna reach out to the people I know in the Jordan Downs or the Nickerson Garden complex. See if we can use their facility or something. So
one thing. That's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry, but I'm high. boy.
Oh, hold on. Take a moment, sir. Take a moment. Let me see what people got here in the comments.
I'm dead. No, but boycott FedEx. All jokes aside. FedEx. Boycott FedEx. Anyway, all jokes aside.
What's going on with them that I'm not aware of yet?
There was some shit that just went down like Ahmaud Arbery, man. Motherfucking I sent it to Sabby actually. I'm gonna send it to you. Oh my dog. They a FedEx worker, he was dropping off a package. Then some neighbors came out, was yelling at him. So he got in his truck and he pulled off. He like, shit, this is an all-white neighborhood, basically. He getting the fuck out of that motherfucker. He driving down the street. It's a white man outside, in front of his car, in front of his truck, trying to stop him. He tried to swerve past him, and they shooting at his truck. They shot at his truck. He went to Amazon about it. And
don't tell me they didn't do nothing.
They fired. They didn't do anything about it really, and the police let them out on bond. It was like a low ass bond. They out on bond right now, like $1,500 bond.
This is them right here. Black FedEx driver says white father and son chase shot at him while he was delivering package. Think about this, Rome. They know this just happened. They know a father and son is going to jail for decades, and white people are still fine doing it. Didn't deter them whatsoever. This is it. So black FedEx driver says white father and son chase shot at him while he was delivering packages, doing his job. So we can't even go to work. We can't jog in our neighborhoods. Otherwise, jealous, angry white men, and I'm throwing jealousy in there because it's jealousy to me, are doing this. So a father and son are facing criminal charges after allegedly chasing and shooting at a black FedEx driver while he was delivering packages in Brookhaven, Mississippi. All black people should just leave. Just leave Mississippi. Like, why are you still there?
The land chief,
get out of there, man. Just out of respect for what happened to your ancestors, you shouldn't even be living there.
The fucked up thing is, thankfully he's alive. But FedEx put him on non-paid leave because he didn't want to go back into that neighborhood.
Because he didn't want to go back into that neighborhood.
Yep.
They couldn't switch. Wow. Yeah, this I don't want to just do this story with a few minutes. So this is a story I'm gonna have to cover more. So
that's some shit that we're looking up right now. So
yeah, that's just absurd, bro.
I'm trying to get him on the show.
Boycott FedEx. Who can we boycott for these two men shooting at him? Is there anybody?
Man, the police and the motherfucking shit. Man, just boycott the whole fucking system. It all gotta go. They all right. Yeah. But you know what? We gotta, if y'all can look this man up and try to get him on RBN, tell him that we are looking for him. I'm looking for him. I look for his TikTok, I look for his Facebook. He got some I saw some app, but it wasn't on Twitter. So just let me know if anybody can find this man. We're really trying to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely. The FedEx driver. So, all right. So, what I have coming up then is what's today? Today's Friday. So you'll see Sabby's show today in an hour. I think it's at 3 p.m. or 4. I'm sorry if I don't know the time, but it's after this show, an hour or two after this show, the Sabby Sab show. And then tomorrow, Nick will be on. Sunday, JB. Monday, Nick and I will be back here. So that's the lineup. And then next week is Tour for the Poor, Compton and LA. So Rome will be out here with me. I'm sure we'll do some streaming. We'll talk about some stuff. We'll go to my sister's. She has a little place downtown LA. Even if we want to do an event there, we can even pass out clothes. Like, she's down for that. We can do it out of her place. But we can do a little episode there and just talk from Compton, because her place is in Compton. So 6 p.m. Eastern. So that is an hour. Somebody put in the comments. Thank you for that. 6 p.m. Eastern is the Sabby show. That's 3 p.m. my time. So in an hour for me. Outside of that, thank you for everybody for joining, and thank you, Rome, again. We're gonna be signing off here. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Keep supporting the show. Donate. You already know how to donate to Tour for the Poor. You see my mutual aid scrolling at the bottom. You can see us on Patreon. Several different ways to support us. So thank you, and we're signing off.